Hello and welcome to BioRules video lessons. Well, we saw earlier that a seed is a tiny little compartment containing the embryo and food storage. So it sounds like when the plant managed to make a seed that the life for the little embryo, for the little future plant is already won. No, they have a place to rest, wait for the water to come, and when they start germinating, they even have a little bit of food to start their life. However, it's not quite like that. Okay, so today's lesson is going to be about seed dispersal. And what we see around is that the distance from the parent tree varies according to each seed. Some seeds, they fall very close to the parent tree. Some seeds manage to get very away from the parent tree. So the number of seeds that we can find in a unit of area related to the parent tree is going to be reducing. So the closer you are to your mother tree, more you're going to be finding those seeds. Okay, that's quite obvious. It makes us think that actually all the seeds should be found close to the mother plant. But actually, plants evolve ways to make seeds to go away. Why? Because a predator of seeds, so in this case here a squirrel, this is the Brazilian squirrel, also known as serelepe, you are going to be finding seeds close to the mother plant. If you're a squirrel, there's where you're going to be looking for seeds. Okay, if there's a nut tree, you go there, you go and you find the nuts down there. If there is an araucaria, you find the seeds from the araucaria just under that mother tree. So these guys, they are going to be predating seeds, closer to the mother plant. Additionally, close to the mother plant, the future seedling will also find competition. The mother plant makes shadow. They are going to be competing with you over there. There's already a tree grown over there. So very, very close to the mother plant is not the best place for a young plant to start their lives. One, there will be competition. Two, predators are going to be looking for you over there. Fortunately, this predation and this competition reduces with the distance from the parent tree. So, if we look at this graph here, the same one, distance from parent tree, but now plotting the probability that the seeds or the seedling are going to be surviving. So, the chances of survival, they increase away from the mother plant. Why? Because there are predation and competition over there close to the mother plants. So, basically, what will happen is that far away from the plant is more likely for a seed to survive. So the further you can get from your mother plant until, of course, a certain limit, because if you are a tropical rainforest plant and you run away and you end up reaching the ocean or reaching a desert, then things are not going to be very good. But if you manage to go away from your plant, your mother plant, you're going to have a bigger chance of survival. So as a result, what happens is when you have the combination of those two, the distance that seeds usually tend to travel, okay, putting together there that you have predation and competition, and the chance of survival caused by that predation and competition, you're going to be having an optimum, a place where most seeds manage to get and survive. Not all manage to get very, very far away, so the distance is limited by strategies that the plant can develop, but the ones that manage to get far away, they do manage to survive most. So there will be a sweet distance from the mother plant where the babies are going to be surviving and reaching adulthood better. Because of this, plants have evolved in numerous ways of dispersing their seeds. So here we have some examples of seeds that are dispersed by wing. They have wings, so the wind disperses them around. This is called anemochoria. Anemo is the name for wind, anemometer, anemochoria, so being dispersed by wind. And many species use this strategy. Okay, from gymnosperms, some pine trees, they have wings, to angiosperms of all varied shape and size. Okay, they are going to have this. If you want to see a video about that, just use your cell phone on this QR code, and there is a little video about anemochoria. Okay, another weird way of dispersing seeds is by exploding the fruit and sending the seeds away. This is called ballistic chorea. And there is a video here because this is not so easy for you to visualize, but if you have ever touched that little reddish pinkish flower that live close to the roads, when you touch the fruit, they explosively coil, and when they do that, they send seeds flying away. That video is quite cool. Take a look on it. You're going to be getting the idea of ballistic chorea. A classic way of seeds to be dispersed is by ornithochorea. Ornitho means bird. Ornithorhynchus, the nose of a bird. So ornithochorea, dispersing seeds by birds. So birds are going to be eating the fruits and they swallow the seeds, and when they pull far away from the mother plant, the seeds already go away, and they even go with a little bit of compost, the bird shit. Even birds that eat the seeds to try to eat them, to destroy them, they end up dispersing some of them. They don't manage to destroy all of them. So this is going to be quite interesting, because birds have evolved to eat seeds. They have this stomach. After the stomach is called a gizzard. It's a very strong muscular stomach. And the birds, the seedling birds, the birds that eat seeds, they eat stones. And here we have a picture of a gizzard filled with stones. Why is that? Because when the birds eat the seeds, they use this stomach to crush the seeds, destroy them, so they can absorb the nutrients. So actually there is a war happening between the seeds and the birds. Seeds evolve to become stronger, to be able to resist the gizzard, to resist the crushing into the stomach of the birds. But the birds also evolve ways to be crushing them, putting rocks inside. So some birds, they predate seeds, they are going to be destroying it. There is no way, they are predators, they are going to be destroying. But some are going to be destroying some of them and letting others pass. Okay? And this reminds me of the tale of the dodo. Dodo is a bird that used to exist in the Mauritius Islands, in the Indian Ocean, the Indic Ocean or the Indian Ocean. And when the Portuguese arrived there, less than a century after, actually about half a century after the Portuguese arrived there, the dodos were extinct. And that was very unfortunate for this plant over here, because these plants have evolved together with the dodo, and to be able to resist the dodo's stomach and huge stomach, dodo was a very big bird, they evolved these very hard and resistant seeds. So these seeds, they evolved to be able to endure the stomach of the dodos. However, after the dodos got extincted, these seeds, they were not needed to be so strong anymore, but they were still very strong. And what's bad is that now they only germinate after they are scratched by the dodo's stomach. And because they're not scratched anymore, they were not germinating since the 17th century, when the dodos got extincted. As a result, in 1970, scientists thought that these plants, they would go to extinction because they didn't understand why these plants were not germinating. There were 13 of these trees in the island, and all of them were 300 years old or older. They only realized that they were actually going extinct because they specialized so much in a relationship with the dodo that they realized how they could save them. Now what scientists do is to go there and they scratch those seeds with a sandpaper, and then those seeds are able to survive. And now they are growing there on the island. Okay, so while there are humans willing to save these three species from extinction, they are saved from the extinction of the relationship that they had with the dodos. A few more examples of dispersal. Coconut trees, they grow by the beach and they release a coconut which is hollow inside and it floats. As a result, coconuts can travel all over the world by water currents. There are coconuts that grow there in Thailand and that come to germinate here by the beaches of Brazil. They are the species of plants that disperse their seeds further away in the planet. They use the entire global ocean currents to be able to disperse. This is one example of hydrochoria, dispersal using water. Okay? Another classic example, bats. Bats are very important for dispersal of seeds. They are also flying animals. They go there and they eat fruits, they eat the seeds, and they also pull them far away. Many tropical rainforest fruits, they depend totally on the dispersal of bats. Without bats, the tropical rainforest would be totally different. This is called Chiropterochoria. And if you want to see a video on Chiropterochoria, you're going to find it into this little video that you can get with this link on the QR code. Okay? However, even seed predators, sometimes they can help seed dispersion. For example, squirrels. They are seed predators. They eat seeds. They destroy the seeds. They eat the entire seed and they destroy them and then they are kaput. However, they also have the habit of collecting seeds and storing them for days where the seeds are not going to be present around. So they collect the seeds into the season that the seeds are there. They hide them to be eaten later. The same happens with the gralha. It's this bird that is specialized in eating the seeds from araucarias. They are predators of araucarias. They eat the araucaria seeds. However, they also hide the seeds to be able to eat later. And fortunately for the seeds, these guys here, they are very good in hiding seeds, but they are not very good in finding them later. They forget where they buried them. Oh, where did I put those little seeds? And some of them, they are hidden by them, so they're not eaten by other predators. They are already buried and they are ready to germinate. So they are going to be germinating over there. So plants evolved different strategies to be able to take advantage of animals or other strategies to get away from the mother plant to be able to germinate. So now we have a few questions in this questionnaire. If you point your cell phone to this QR code, you're going to be finding many questions in the item pool quiz. You can also type the web link in your computer if you want to do that in the computer. I hope you have fun.